have covered from Karnal to space, long distance. And therefore, when I talk to you, I feel I'm talking to a person who is representing India in the space now. My all good wishes to you.
Thank you, sir, very much. Those are very kind words.
Kalpana, I do not know if you remember, there is a saying by one of our poets who is very well known in the subcontinent, Iqbal. He said, सितारों से आगे जहां और भी हैं. There are worlds beyond stars. And now you have seen them. How do you feel about them?
It's a very special feeling. And really out here, the night sky, you look at it, what you are saying does become very literal. It's a dome of a dark sky and stars everywhere, and there's the fine comes with thunderstorms here there, with some small sprays of lightning, and every once in a while, city lights the clouds. And it is very much like a storybook. And the crew that I'm working with out here, all of us work so well together, and it's such an honor and privilege to be able to share this very special vision with them.
So those were some of the things, and you might have now seen Kalpana Chawla talking back on Earth. And what is the first thing that you had noticed? Did anyone observe that when she was replying, there was a lag between she's hearing? Like we are able to hear the voice of the governor, so we are able to hear the voice, but she takes some time first to understand it and then reply. So there is a lag. Did you observe this as well? That she was replying before saying anything on the space station that she was currently on. So she was taking some time and there was a lag. Yes, there was a delay. Yes. So what was this delay? Why is there a delay? Because she is not very, very close to us. When we are talking to each other, then also there is a delay. We don't usually observe this because we are so close to one another. We are just here on earth. But here, what was happening is in the video that you were seeing, the signal is sent from here, from on earth, and then it is being sent in space, and then she is going to listen it, and then she is going to reply, and then it is going to come back, and then they're going to say something again. So the sound waves, they do not travel at an infinite speed, they travel with a finite speed only, and also the information that is being sent in different kind of energy, that also travels at a finite speed. So there was a delay that we could see. It's not that she was taking a pause, it's simply that the distance is too much between us and the place where she was. So, few seconds are gone, and that is why we could see there was a delay between her replies and the questions as well, because the data, when it is sent back to Earth, then also it takes 1 or 2 seconds to process. Now, let us. So, first question, I hope everybody was able to answer that who was Kalpana Chawla. She was an NASA astronaut. Now, moving on to the next question, to become a NASA astronaut that we all know her as, what did she study in college to become an astronaut? Many students are curious to become an astronaut, but they're curious to find out what do they have to study. So to become an astronaut, there can be many, many, many ways, but what was the that Kalpana Chawla chose? Did she study astronomy in her college? The very first thing after studying 12th. So, what was the first thing that she studied? Did she study astronomy? Did she study aeronautical engineering? Did she study just maths? Did she study politics to go beyond India, or did she study English to make her English perfect so that she could speak outside? So, what was the first thing that she studied which made her qualify to become an astronaut, to go to NASA, to go to USA and work there? So you have different options. What do you think outside in all those options that we have five options? Which is the most important one? Engineering is it? That is the aeronautical engineering. Is astronomy study of these stars that we have, all these beautiful stars and planets that we have, or is it the mathematics? They should be good with numbers, or they should be good with politics, or they should be good with English. So, out of these four or five options, four or subjects, which do you think is the most important one to become an astronaut? And she might have studied that in college. Yes. So I was getting almost two equal responses, and they were, one was saying astronomy, that is, we have the study of planets and some other things like Jupiter, stars, and other asteroids and comets. That is all that comes in astronomy. And aeronautical engineering is the study where the scientists or the people, they study how to take care of themselves in space, how do things fly, and then they go. For example, the spaceship that you can all see, I will be giving you the controller access as well, so you can control it. So you can see that when you press a button, it is going in the front direction. You can move it in any direction you want. So how is all of this happening? In reality, too, in the spaceship, there are so many buttons which are there. Whenever you press them, the spaceship or the spacecraft, it can go up, it can go down, it can leave Earth, it can re-enter Earth. So many things are happening. So for all of that to happen, we have to study the engineering side, not the just the science side. Science is going to start once a spacecraft is finally into space, not here on Earth. To get the spacecraft from Earth to space, we need engineering, and that is what she was doing. She studied engineering in her college and then she went outside. So, after studying 4 years of college, bachelor's of engineering, and also she was the first girl to take that course, because usually in her college, first of all, this course was not popular. Aeronautical engineering, it was very new that time. Nowadays, there are many colleges which have these courses of astronomy, aeronautical engineering, or some similar aerospace. That time, so many years ago, there were not so many colleges which were having these options to study. And she was a girl, a woman, so people were thinking, even her principal and her teachers were thinking, is she serious? Then she completed successfully her college and then she applied for NASA. In the first attempt, she was not qualified, but in the second attempt, she made it and she qualified the exam. How many people do you think there which she had to compete with? She had to compete with many people. Thousands of people had lied, and outside all those thousands of people, she was one of the few astronauts which were selected by NASA for that particular year. So even if you do not get selected in the first try, that's something to worry about. You keep on trying to make it. Did you study in life of engineering school? We have English and with engineering. Engineering, that's on the many times she went to did space, went 3 times, she went 4 times, 5 times, never went. This is a question to answer. Me, I think us to research her
wonderful that your journey is front and the same built another new and stable bridge between America.
I say
Feel without weightless is very difficult.
as tell right uh, doing a such low just move out of way my leg. It's just ignore very very fast. So one other you always end up telling yourself take it easy. Don't try to do very fast because otherwise you're just tumbling all over. So gently is the way to go.
It must be very interesting to sit with colleagues and friends in the same weightlessness. It is a very interesting experience and friendship that you have formed now.
Yes. So as you might have heard her talking about that when a person is living in space, when astronauts are living in space, it is not very difficult and they get used to living in space because there is not a lot of weight. They feel weightlessness. They feel like as if they're floating here and there. And that is what they were asking her in the video that was there. So we'll listen to her once more. But before that, how many times did she go to space? So at least one time she went because that is why in this interview we can see that. But was it just one time or more than one time? So what it is going to be one time, two times, five times? Two times, yes. So she went to space two times, not just one time. And going to space even one time is very, very hard and it takes many years of practice. So before even going for first time, she had to practice and learn many things like how to fly a spacecraft. And what was her job? Her job was as a mission specialist and also as a robotic arm specialist. So the spacecraft has so many robotic parts. So if you see over here, even our space has so many parts and somebody has to control it. One of the person is going to fly it, which is known as the pilot, but there are other people in the spacecraft which control the spacecraft in a way that they have to think about what is the mission going to be, which person is responsible for what in the spacecraft, when are we going to do what exactly. So the pilot is only handling the spacecraft, but the whole mission, who is going to control the entire mission and the different parts. So her specialization, her job when she went to space was, first of all, it was a mission special, that she was the person in charge. Something goes wrong with the spacecraft or somebody has to perform an experiment in a different way, all of that, the mission of going to space and returning back to earth was in her hands. And also one more specialization that she had was control the robotic arm setup. So if I show you how a robotic arms look like, and while I am showing you how a robotic arms looks like, let us also move on to the next question that we have, which is how many hours did she spend in space, do you think? So one day has 24 hours. So how much do you think she spent in space? 10 hours, 45 hours, 300, more than 300 hours, 100 hours. So how many hours do you think she had spent in space? find robotic arm as so what I am going to show you now is how the robotic arms, if you look over here, yes, right behind me, this is how the robotic arm like. So you see over here, there is this robotic arm which has the words Canada on it. So this is the robotic arm that we are talking about, and this is what the role of Kalpana Chawla was on the mission to control these robotic arms, like the action they are going to perform. So they even have cameras on them. You can even see an astronaut that is there. So you can see, compared to this astronaut which is there on the stairs that are there, how big these robotic arm is. So they are not controlled manually with hands, but they are robotic arms. They move themselves. They have camera and some of the other things. They also give stabilization to the spacecraft, measure things which is coming in front of the spacecraft, behind the spacecraft. So all of the things have to do with this arm. That is what Kalpana Chawla was controlling, and also the mission. So this is what she was controlling and she was doing in space. And now we're back to the question, that is, how many hours did she spend in space? What do you think? Is it 10 hours? Is it 45 hours? Or is it 300 hours? Or is it 1000 hours? Yes. How many hours? 100 hours, yes. And not just 300, but a little bit even more than 300. Imagine that's way too many days, because she went more than one time. She went twice, and this is the collective number of hours she had spent in space away from Earth. The next thing that we have over here is, she is considered as, what is she considered as? She is considered as the national hero of India, and not just India, but she is famous all across the world. There are so many things which are named after her. There are craters which are named after her. There are movies and documentaries which are named after her. There are schools which are named after her, roads which are named after her, and also a spacecraft is named after her in her memory. She had done wonderful work even outside India. She used to help students and she used to pay for their fees if those students were not able to afford. So she had done very incredible work in India, outside India, not just as an astronaut, but as a human being too. And for this, for her legacy, she is considered the national hero in India, given many, many awards, and outside India too. Many, many awards have been given after her. The next thing that we have is, so you have to identify this. It is a rocket launched spacecraft that is designed to orbit around the Earth. So let us go to Earth. So now you have to identify which exactly thing we are talking about here. This is a rocket launch. So this is launched on a rocket. This is a spacecraft and it orbits around. So this is our Earth and this is how it orbits. It does not leave the Earth and go somewhere else. It does not stays on the Earth, but it orbits around the Earth like this. So what is that thing which orbits around the Earth? Is it the Voyager mission? Is it the Starlink mission? Is it the International Space Station? Or is it the Space Shuttle Columbia? So out of all of these, there can be one answer or more than one answer as well. But the hint is, you have to identify it in context of Kalpana Chawla. So which was that spacecraft on which Kalpana Chawla had went to space, not just one but twice, two times. Did she went in space and orbited around the Earth in a Voyager, in Starlink, in an ISS, or in the space shuttle Columbia? So which one is it going to be? You have to also see that the spacecraft is launched from Earth and then no parts are actually removed somewhere. The same rocket, the same spacecraft returns back to Earth as well, and it is the same spacecraft that orbits around the Earth too. So is it Voyager, is it Starlink, is it ISS, International Space Station, or is it Space Shuttle Columbia? Shuttle Columbia, yes. So previously, before there was any international space station, there was Space Shuttle Columbia. Let me show you a picture how the Space Shuttle Columbia looked like, because this was very different from how things we have today. So previously it used to be Space Shuttle Columbia. Now we don't have it anymore. It is not even used anymore. Now we have other things. So let us show you how the Space Shuttle Columbia looks like. So it's more like a aeroplane, and the aeroplane is going in the space on a rocket. That is how it looks like. So if you can see behind me, yes. So this is how it is going to appear like. It is a rocket. It has two boosters, left and right, and it's a aeroplane kind of thing which is going on a rocket, and then this aeroplane goes up on this rocket and then it orbits around the earth and then it comes back. So the same aeroplane comes back as well. When we're talking about the International Space Station, that is completely different. Humans go in a rocket, but the rocket itself does not revolve around earth. The humans, the astronauts from the rocket, they go into the International Space Station, that is different, and then they come back using a third vehicle. So it is very different. Previously, there was not so many things. There was no International Space Station permanently in space. So the rocket was also sent together. The place to stay, the place which is going to orbit is also going to send together, and also the thing which is going to return back to Earth. Everything, it's all in one, three in one mission, that is Space Shuttle. And this Space Shuttle was very popular back in the day. Now we have different types of rockets. SpaceX has rockets, ISRO has rockets, and so many other space agencies have their rockets and their mission. But previously there was just the Space Shuttle Columbia, which was doing all the things in once. So we were currently here on Earth, exploring some things. I'm taking back the axis now, and which is the question we are currently on. We are talking about Space Shuttle Columbia. So let us move on to the next question. And this next question is, why do astronauts feel weightlessness? So what is the reason because of which feel weightlessness? Is it because of zero gravity? Is it because of microgravity? Is it because of no gravity at all? Or is it because in space we have more gravity than here on Earth? And let us listen to Kalpana Chawla as well, what she has to say when it comes to this topic.
That's very true, sir. On our crew, we have people from very different backgrounds, and we bring a lot of different cultures, and it's just a lot of fun. It was fun while we trained together, and now in space too.
I don't know if from your satellite you can see some other Indian satellites also, which are also in the space, projecting Indian television program to every home.
And yes, sir, I'm aware of that.
Yes, we are also, our scientists and our technology sharing their experience of space. They have not gone themselves to space like you. They have sent quite a few satellites.
And yes, I knew about when I was going to school back in Karnal or in Chandigarh, And then also I came here, I've been following that in the news out here.
And I want to extract a promise to you that when you come back to the earth, please come to India with all your friends in the satellite and also your whole family.
So the whole crew would love to come, and that would be an honor.
You will be most welcome guest of the Indian people and government. They all take so much pride in you, excited about you. When you come and meet them, they'll be extremely delighted, and you must come.
So yes, we will surely come, and like I said, that's definitely an honor. And if I may just take a second, I'd like to introduce my crew members to you. And first of all, I'm going to bring the pilot on board. His name is Steve Lindsay, and Steve and I trained together in the class that I came in.
Thank you very much, but also kindly convey my invitation to your fellow travelers who are in space with you, the captain and everybody else.
For sure, sir.
Please and tell them that this is a very warm and hearty invitation to all of you.
I will pass it on, sir.
And you know, Kalpana, the original family came from Karnal, and it was in that area where a famous poet Kalidas was there, who wrote that famous song about Swim the Swan.
So we're going to listen about what was the song and the poem Swim of the Swan was about. But now let us continue the question that we left on. So we were talking about why do astronauts feel weightless? So you could see her in the video that when her pilot, one more crew member, when they came, they were floating in space. They just came from outside and they went hello and they went away. So what is the reason that things are so easy in space and they are just floating here and there? Is it because there is no gravity at all? That is why they're floating. Is it because there is microgravity? That is, gravity is there, but it is less tiny microorganism, microscope. So micro means very small. Or does it mean there is no gravity, or does it mean there is more gravity than Earth? So out of all these options, which do you think is going to be that is the reason that astronauts feel weightlessness in space? So let us see what do you all think. What is the okay? So most students have guessed this right. That is microgravity, but some are also saying no gravity and zero gravity. That is a misconception that there is no gravity, because even when you go in space, you are still going to feel the gravity of Earth, because Earth is so big and we have not yet gone very away from Earth. So gravity is still there in space. Gravity is still there in the International Space Station, in the shuttle Columbia, on the moon, everywhere the gravity is present. But the gravity is so in space, astronauts feel weightless because the gravity is very less, microgravity. And now we are nearly to the end. So, what is it going to be the last thing that we have over here? Yes. So the last thing that we have is, what is the return of a spacecraft to Earth atmospheres called? So we have a spacecraft that ventured all around the Earth, explored and done all the mission, Kalpana, Chawla and all the other crew members. And when they come back to Earth, when they have to enter the Earth's atmosphere once again, what is that process known as? Entering Earth once again. So first it is going outside the earth and then entering earth. So is it known as re-entry? Is it known as docking? Is it known as takeoff? Or is it known as unboxing or curious? Now following you, it is going a had one hour. It is slowly and of once again the earth atmosphere air is good setting all the patterns the clouds is going on what is known is it known as military? Is it known as king? Is it known as thing? I really before listen to Chawla. One or
I know that. It's a very interesting.
And that, so,
Um,
thank you once again for feeling to you for good of you.
just very much thank you for calling on Twitter. If you would take us that to go the Himalaya or down to you a million week one thing.
Thank you.
The prime and all the people from we years ago hoping maybe by December that came we'd be flying over some regions that there was deal with. But the view of Himalayas is so magnificent that it really belongs to all of us. As you can see on this video.
so that was the view of Himalayas that she had seen, and she was showing it to the Prime Minister. Very, very beautiful view, I would say. And that is because from space, when they are orbiting around the Earth, they can see all of the world. Sometimes they can see India, the Himalayas, the Great Wall of China, the big rivers, Amazon and Nile, the big deserts, the big mountains, glaciers, ocean. All of things are going to appear very, 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 very beautiful when astronauts are orbiting around the Earth. So the last question that we were on, what is this known as when a spacecraft is returning back to Earth, entering the Earth's atmosphere? Is it known as re-entry, docking, takeoff, unboxing? So one of this is the right answer. Can you find out what is the right answer? Everybody says re-entry, and re-entry is the right answer. So when a spacecraft is launching, when a rocket is launching, that is known as takeoff and of the rocket launch. And when this does not happen with Space Shuttle Columbia, but when a part of the rocket is attaching to another part. So this happens with the International Space Station. What happens is the rocket that is sent from here on Earth, that so first of all the rocket keeps dividing into three parts, and those parts only the final part is there which has the astronauts crew module, and then that crew, the place of the rocket which has astronauts inside it, goes and attaches with the International Space Station. It docks it, and then it can undock and return back to Earth. So docking is different, it is very modern. There was no facility of docking when it comes to space shuttle. The booking is only available when it comes to the International Space Station. So if you see over here in our Kalam Labs Metaverse 2, you can see there is an International Space Station. And if you go very, very close to it, you can even talk. And with that, we have reached the very, very end of today's session. And I hope you learned something more about Kalpana Chawla, her life, and what was she doing. So I am giving you all the control access. Try to dock as well. So we are currently here. Try to dock with the International Space Station that we have next to us. So try to land here very, very close as you can on top. And then we're going to send our session in few minutes. So there's a helipad, and then there are few more things. We are there. So everybody, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I have lost the control. Just give me a second. 2 and 1. Everyone in the magic mic. We. This is how you can also land the spacecraft near the space station that we have. So bring it very, very close, slowly, slowly, and then you can land it on a good place that we have over here. So keep on continuing celebrating science. We love science. We love science. I'm going to meet you tomorrow at the same time. Maybe, maybe not, because tomorrow is Happy Holi. So, wishing you the best wishes from my side. And also, we have the small Holi today, and still all came. So, all the best wishes from my side and the entire team of Kalam Labs. We'll see if you come tomorrow or not, because you might be celebrating. So, we have not planned the session yet. Hopefully, if you come, we are going to have the space horsey.